Hey everyone, Poindexter here. Before we get started, I need to take a moment to bring to your attention a mistake I made in the last video. When prepping to bomb the U-boat pen, I mistakenly added the M44s to the B-17s instead of the M43s. The M44s, combined with the large M34s, break the weight limit of the B-17s, while the smaller M43s do not. The silver lining is that regardless of this mistake, the U-boat pen would have been destroyed anyway. So other than losing a couple of extra SO points for this week because of the M44's higher SO point cost, there was no real setback. I wanted to bring this mistake to your attention because, though I'm familiar with this game, it is something that can be easily overlooked from time to time. In short, always check the weight limits on your bomb groups before takeoff. So, with that housekeeping out of the way, let's get started. We start December with 3 SO points. We add our weekly amount of 15, but remove 5 points, 3 for the U-boat in the channel, and 2 more for the secondary mission failure, which gives us a final total of 13 points. At this point in the campaign, it's all about the final score. Our focus, therefore, will be to hit as many of the higher value targets, regardless of what they are and where they're located, to get to that 55 victory point total. We have 10 points to go, which means scoring at least 5 points per week. The current targets with the highest point value are airfields 9 and 12, which are worth 4 victory points apiece. Therefore, these 2 airfields will be our targets for this week. Both of these targets allow 4 bomber groups apiece. As we currently only have 7 bomb groups, we'll spend 12 SO points to purchase another bomb group, the 306th. We'll have to stick with new recruits, as we don't have enough SO points left to promote them to green. Still, a -1 air-to-ground modifier isn't too much of a detriment with our fleet of experienced groups able to carry the load. The reason why these 2 airfields have such high value is their distance from England. Airfield 9 is in Hex 7, while Airfield 12 is in Hex 5. The Luftwaffe have squadrons located near and inside these areas, so it is certain we will encounter them on both missions. Airfield 12 is the furthest and beyond the range of our fighter escort, so we'll have to go it alone for part of this mission. Airfield 9 is closer, but is also covered by more German squadrons in the area. If Commander Sparrow decides to commit everything he has, we could potentially have 5 German squadrons to contend with. Our first target will be Airfield 12 in Saint-Dizier, France. As noted earlier, the target allows 4 groups. Flak over the target will be light, but somewhat accurate, and we have an overkill bonus of 1 victory point if we cause at least 17 hits on the airfield. It will take 13 hits to destroy the field, and we have a +1 modifier to the target. The groups for this mission will be the 91st, the 305th, the 93rd, and our new group, the 306th, and they'll be going in unescorted. We'll arm all groups with M30s, mark out our route to the target, and place our counters on the battle map. We roll for German response, and it's a 3, modified to 1 for a poor response. Our groups form up over England, and we draw an event card. and the Germans will be up in force as we draw increased Luftwaffe activity. We'll need to draw 2 extra bandits for each bandit intercept we encounter, up to the maximum allowed for the current response level. The current response is poor, so there will only be a maximum of 2 bandits attacking per encounter, so it could have been worse. Our force makes its way into France and passes through Hex 9, which activates a German squadron. Because of the event card draw, we'll encounter 2 bandits instead of 1, which is the maximum allowed for this response level. A 190 and 109 bandit will be attacking the force. The 109 bandit has an out-of-the-sun modifier, which is a tactic used by our current German commander. Fortunately, this tactic is only used against fighter escorts flying low cover or performing fighter sweeps. But Commander Sparrow also has the group attack tactic, so both bandits will attack the same bomber group. A roll of 7 means both bandits will be targeting the 93rd group. Both bandits will attack for 2 rounds. The 93rd group has a slow speed, which means the bandits will attack first, but does have a +3 air-to-air modifier. The 190 bandit attacks first and causes 2 hits on a roll of 8. The 109 attacks next and misses on a roll of 3. The B-24s of the 93rd now take their shot, first against the 190. And the roll of 10 is modified to 9 for the 190's durability. But it makes no difference, as the final modified roll of 12 is more than enough to destroy the bandit. The 93rd targets the 109 next, and misses on a roll of 5, which is modified to 8. Our second round of combat begins. 109 fires at the 93rd, and just misses on a roll of 6. The 93rd fires back at the 109, and a roll of 8, modified to 11, destroys the 109. 2 bandits were destroyed, and we move the bandits' disrupted counter 2 spaces, which gives us the opportunity to remove a German squadron. As we are in Hex 9, we'll remove the German counter from this hex. Our groups make it to Hex 5, but must first deal with more bandits before beginning their bomb run. 2 109 bandits rise to attack the group, and will target the 305th. Both bandits will attack for 2 combat rounds. It's good that the Germans will be attacking this group, as the 305th has an experienced commander, LeMay, in charge, who has the suppress and evasion tactics. We'll use the suppress tactic first, which adds a -2 modifier to all bandit attack rolls against this group for 1 turn. The 305th also has a fast speed and a +3 modifier, which means the bomber group gets to fire first. The first 109 bandit is targeted. The roll is 7, which is modified to 10, and the 109 is destroyed. The 305th targets the second 109 and misses on a roll of 2, which is modified to 5. The 109 prepares to fire, but we add a -2 modifier to the bandit's attack roll because of the suppress tactic in use. And the tactic comes in handy, as the bandit rolls an 8, which is modified to 6 for a near miss. Our second round of combat begins, and we discard the suppress token as it can no longer be used. However, the 305th will now use LeMay's evasion tactic against the bandit. But first, we'll resolve the 305th's attack against the 109. A roll of 9, modified to 12, destroys the bandit. No evasion required. With 2 more bandits destroyed, we move the bandit's disrupted counter up 2 more spaces, and we flip the German squadron counter over to its rearming sign. Our groups now arrive over the target area and prepare for their bomb runs. The 91st Group is up first, and they fly through German flak, which hits on a 7 or higher. And the gunners miss on a roll of 2, modified to 1 for B-17 durability. The 91st bombs with a +2. We add +1 for the target and +2 for the M30s, for a final +5 modifier. The 91st drop their bombs, and the 91st prove their ace status as they pound the target with 5 hits. 1 bomb hits on a modified 9 for 1 hit, while the other 2 bombs hit on modified rolls of 15 and 13 for 2 hits apiece. The 305th arrive over the target and are greeted by German flak. And the gunners are more accurate this time on a roll of 8, modified to 7 for durability. 1 hit is scored. The 305th bombs with a +2. We add +1 for the target and +2 for the M30s for a final +5 modifier. The 305th call bombs away, and the bombing is fair as 3 hits are scored. 1 bomb hits on a modified 14, causing 2 hits. Another missed the target, and the 3rd barely scores on a modified 8 for 1 hit. The Liberators of the 93rd are up next, and they fly through German flak. And the 93rd take more damage on a roll of 7, which causes 1 hit. The 93rd has no modifier, but we add +1 for the target and +2 for the M30s for a final +3 modifier. The Liberators salvo their bombs, and the 93rd manages to score 3 more hits on the target. 3 of the bombs hit on modified rolls of 8, 9, and 8, while the 4th misses the target. The recruits of the 306th arrive over the target and fly through German flak, and make it through unhurt on a roll of 6, modified to 5 for durability. The 306th bombs with a -1. We add +1 for the target and +2 for the M30s for a final +2 modifier. We'll need 2 hits to destroy the target. Let's hope our recruits can do the job. The 306th drop their bombs, and manage to pull off an impressive bombing run. 1 bomb misses completely, but the other 2 hit on modified rolls of 10 and 11 for 2 hits apiece. With 15 hits, the airfield is destroyed. We gain 4 victory points and move the bandits' disrupted counter up 4 spaces. And we remove another German squadron from the map. Since we are in Hex 5, we remove the squadron located here. Our victorious groups make their turn for home, and we draw an event card. And we encounter choppy weather. Normally we would roll for formation checks for each hex, but since we won't be encountering any bandit attacks on the way home, we'll ignore the event. Our groups make their way back to base and land safely. The 91st, the 305th, the 93rd, and the new 306th all received 2 experience points for the mission. The 93rd also received 2 more experience points for destroying 2 bandits, and the 305th received 2 more as well. This also promotes the 93rd group to veteran, and we receive 4 victory points, which brings our total to 49. We remove the destroyed airfield card and replace it with a new one. Our second mission will be against Airfield 9, located in Tours, France. This target also allows 4 groups. Flak over this airfield will be slightly more accurate than our previous target, but will still be light. And it will take 13 hits to destroy the target, which also has a +1 modifier. All of our remaining 4 bomb groups will be sent out today. The 97th will fly the lead, followed by the 44th, the 92nd, and the 301st. The 4th Fighter Group will fly high escort. We'll arm the bombers with M30s, mark out the mission path, and place bomber counters on the battle map. We roll for German response, and it's a 3, modified to 1 for another poor response. Our groups take off and form up over England. The event card draw is smoke pots. We'll have to add a -1 modifier to all bomb rolls, which means this raid could be a close run thing. Our force makes its way to the target area, and 1 German squadron is activated. And the Germans send one of their best as our force encounters another veteran bandit. The bandits out of the sun tactic is negated by our high escort position. Fortunately, the Ace 4th Fighter Group is a formidable opponent, led by a veteran commander. Anderson adds the fast trait, which means the Spitfires will fire first, and with a +5 base modifier. We'll throw in the good aim tactic for a +1, as well as the out of the sun, which we can only use on the first attack, for a +3, which will add a final +9 modifier. But the 190 will add a -2 modifier for durability, which knocks down our final modifier to a +7. The Spitfires bounce the veteran bandit, and a roll of 8 is more than enough to destroy the bandit. We remove the veteran bandit from the game, and we move the bandit's disrupted counter up 1 space. The 4th Fighter Group reaches its range limit and turns back for home. The German squadron marker is flipped to its rearming side, and our groups begin their bomb runs. The 97th Group flies through German flak, which hits on a 6 or higher, and miss on a roll of 3, modified to 2 for B-17 durability. The 97th will bomb with a +2. We add +1 for the target, +2 for the M30s, and -1 for the smoke pots event card, for a final +4 modifier. The fortresses drop their bombs, and it's only a fair strike, with only 3 hits. 1 bomb misses completely. Another hits on a modified 9 for 1 point, and the third hits on a modified 11 for 2 points. The 44th Group takes its turn and flies through a flak barrage. And the Germans take a swipe at the Liberators on a roll of 7, which caused 1 hit. The 44th will bomb with a +1. We add +1 for the target, +2 for the M30s, and a -1 for the smoke pots, for a final +3 modifier. The 44th toggles her bomb load, and it's a good strike. 1 bomb misses. Another hits for 1 point on a modified 8, while the remaining 2 bombs hit for 2 points apiece on modified rolls of 13 and 11, for a total of 5 hits. The 92nd is up next, and they fly through German flak. And the group is spared on a roll of 3, modified to 2 for B-17 durability. The 92nd will bomb with a +1. We add +1 for the target, +2 for the M30s, and a -1 for the smoke pots, for a final +3 modifier. The 92nd calls bombs away, and it's a poor strike. 2 bombs have no effect, while the third hits on a modified 13, causing 2 points of damage. The 301st lines up over the target and flies through German flak. and the Germans miss on a roll of 3, modified to 2 for B-17 durability. The 301st has no modifier. We add +1 for the target, +2 for the M30s, and -1 for the smoke pots, for a final +2 modifier. The 301st drop their bombs, and it's another poor strike. 2 bombs have no effect, while the third hits on a modified 10, causing 2 points of damage. The airfield is heavily damaged, but 1 point shy of destruction. Our groups make the turn for home, and we draw an event card. And it's tactics defeated. Since we've used all of our tactics already, we ignore the event. And our groups make their way home again and land safely. The 97th, 44th, 92nd, and 301st all receive 1 experience point for the mission. The 4th Fighter Group received none, as they are already at the highest level. And our victory point score remains at 49. The 93rd receives its 2 weekly replacements, which brings its damage level to 1. And we move the calendar to week 2. The Luftwaffe made themselves known this week, but our veteran groups dealt with them very well. The destruction of an airfield deep in the heart of France was also no mean feat. But the Germans foiled our master plan with the use of smoke pots, disrupting our bomb drops just enough to let our second target live for another day. Its complete destruction is a certainty next week, but now we must destroy a second target for that final good result. Let's hope all our bombs strike true next week, where we perform our final 2 missions of the campaign. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk again soon.